My life before Christ, I was born a drug baby. I was adopted at 7 days old. My adopted dad, he was very abusive to my adopted mom, verbally and physically, and also towards me. I was 13 years old. My adopted dad, still being the evil man he was at that time. My adopted mom got very sick, and beforehand, my biological mother, she ended up passing away when I was 10. But my adopted mom, she got real sick, some kind of stomach flu, and she was in a hospital, and he was all bashing me, telling me, oh, you need to take care of her, you need to stop going to school, you need to do this, just calling me all type of names. And so I remember being there with the hospital with her, and she ended up having surgery, and so she comes back home and everything. And so I remember one time he put his hands on her, and she fell down on the ground, and I guess it shook something up in her stomach. And so the next day I was getting ready for school, and I looked at her, and all I saw was like heavy breathing, like she couldn't really breathe. And I asked her, like, did you want me to stay home and take care of you? And she was like, no, you just go to school. I remember fourth period, I get a phone call from my adopted sister, and she told me, she was all like, your grandma's in a hospital. I called her grandma at that time, and she was in a hospital. I was like, oh, okay, well, come pick me up. So I remember them coming to pick me up from school. So I remember when my adopted mom passed away, the pain I felt. I mean, she was like everything to me. She took me in when no one else wanted me. I felt lonely. I felt like I had no one to talk to. I mean, she would sit there and talk to me when no one else did. She would love me when no one else did. She did love me when no one else did. And the experience I felt when I saw her laying in a casket was like I was dead too, because that was that. And I knew God all my life. They were pastors and everything, and thing she always told me was to trust God. He'll be there for you. And her scripture was, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. But right then and there, I felt like God disappointed me. I felt very disappointed in God. Like, I blamed him. Like, why would you take someone so good? Why you didn't take my adopted dad? And I use this excuse, God always takes the good ones. I didn't really understand like why she had to go. That was my breaking point right there, seeing my adopted mom on her deathbed. In my whole process of seeing God being my father, being my friend, being my pastor, being pretty much everything my adopted mom was to me, I fell back into a relationship with him. And God brought me a family. The Rodriguezes and Carlos and his mom brought me a family, and they ended up bringing me to this church, to a Christian worship center. So I ended up going to the youth the next Wednesday, and these kids were giving their testimonies about how God changed their life, their reality, how their reality before was all, was pretty much messed up, and now the reality is it's changed, it's different because God is in it. From hearing their testimony, it encouraged me to, to be stronger in God. So I went up there and I got prayer, and that night my life began to change. The advice I could give to someone that's going through what I went through is trust in Jesus. I mean, the most important part of my life was I was walking alone. And then the fact that God came and he comforted me in my time of mourning, and he brought me joy when I was sad. Allow God to heal you, because he will. The ways I'm involved around the church today is I'm a second year in Revolution School of Ministry. I also go to KCLI, Bible College, and I'm really finding out who Matthew Thurmon is. And I know that I'm called to be a leader. I know I'm called to be a pastor. And through Revolution School of Ministry and under the leadership of Pastor Aaron and being under Bishop and everything, I'm really finding out that I'm called to be someone great. My name is Matthew Thurmon, and I choose to see.